So this was once an empty space, but now it has become our team's ultimate hideaway for rest and productivity. And I'll walk you through exactly how I pull it off, and by the end, you might be inspired to make your own Zenwiz room. So here's how it all began. I wanted to create a space where our team could come in and feel instantly relaxed or shift into work mode with zero distractions. Now I had only about 103 square feet to play with, so the challenge was to keep it functional without overcrowding while maximizing comfort. The result, the Zenwiz room, a name that reflects the room's two personalities, Zen for relaxation and Wiz for smart adaptive lighting that makes it feel like magic. So whether it's for warm lighting to ease into a nap or bright and cool lighting for a focused work sessions, this room has it all. Now let's check out the lighting setup. First up, on the ceiling, there are four Wiz Philips 6-inch 12-watt tunable white plus color recessed downlights that creates an even or customizable lighting or glow from the ceiling to the floor. Now, a big issue with traditional lighting is that it's too bright when you're winding down, or it's just too dim when you're working. So with Wiz's downlight, I can adjust the color and the brightness to match whatever the moment calls for, so I'm never struggling with harsh or any inadequate lights. But these downlights can get really bright too, but thankfully not as bright as those very expensive electricity bills. Now for this work test, I placed a Wiz Bar Linear Light Dual, giving those focus illumination for those deep work sessions. There's also the Wiz Quiet Table Lamp on the desk, which is both functional and also has flexible lighting options. Now on the wall, I've added the Wiz Neon Flex Strip to give that cool ambient touch. So I can shape it accordingly because, as the name suggests, it is a flex strip. So yes, you can see it looks fantastic over there. Now the reason why I put it here is because wall decors can feel stale, but this instantly gives the room a stylish edge and a very calm ambient glow. Plus, unlike fixed lights, I can shape it to however I want, adding personality and adaptability to the room's look. Now, what's unique about this strip is that you can also have some other customized options for different kinds of shapes. Now, in the box, there are two default patterns, which is the ice block template and the musical note template. But you can also download more of these templates online, where there are a total of 15 additional templates over there, where I'll leave a link down below for that. Now, the reason why I went with this template is because I just love desserts, and this looks like an ice cream block, so I went with that. So this is done by just putting the template on the wall and then using a pen to mark those easily. After that is done, you can either screw the clips on the wall, which is included in the box, or you can use the 3M double-sided tape, which is also included in the box as well. Next, behind the bed, there is the Wiz LED light strip. Now this is perfect for just winding down, illuminating from the back of the bed towards the wall, which is very ideal to give that softer lighting. And then there's also a physical on-off button, which also comes in a set. Now as for the bedside lamps, I used the Wiz tunable white plus color candle E14 bulbs. And since this is a very flexible lamp, if I do plan to do some light reading, I can use it as a reading light, or I can just face it towards the wall to give a nice ambient glow. But compared to other smart bulbs, which usually only provides their E27 bulb fixture, it is lovely to know that Wiz has the E14 bulb option too. Then finally, I've got this, the Wiz mode, which allows me to adjust the lighting from anywhere in the room. Now, other than the on-off button to control the lights, there's also a dedicated night mode button for the night mode scene. Then there's also 4 buttons here to switch between the scenes, and the plus and the minus button is to adjust the brightness. But of course, you can change all of these default actions under the room settings and selecting the favorite modes in the Wiz Home app, which I'll go into the app walkthrough soon in this video. Now, before I go further into these products, if you're wondering who Wiz is and why I choose Wiz, well, Wiz is actually a sub-brand from Signify, formerly Philips Lighting. And what's lovely is that this Wiz Smart Lighting system doesn't need any sort of a hub, as there's a hub built in, so as long as you have an internet connection, you are all set. Now, while Wiz has been around for quite a while, the good news is that it is now officially available in Malaysia, and this means that all of the super affordable and awesome smart lighting options are all easily available on online stores like Shopee and Lazada as well. But the Wiz lineup is not tiny, because they are really impressive, covering everything from what you have seen earlier to other fixtures like the GU10 bulbs, portable lights, and even motion sensors. And speaking of motion sensors, what's extra sweet is that the lights in this Zenwiz room has a motion sensor built in. Yep, I'll show you that later, but first, let's talk about controlling this lighting with your smartphone. Now, controlling all of this lighting is super simple with the Wiz Connected app. Just with a few taps and you can change colors, adjust brightness, set schedules, and even create moods like sunset, party, or focus. Therefore, you can control everything from your phone even if you're not at home, as long as you have an active internet connection in your studio for our case, or even at home for your case. Now, speaking of being first time, if you're enjoying this transformational video and finding these tips helpful, do me a favor and give this video a nice big thumbs up. That would be very much appreciated, and a subscription would be lovely too, as we are on the way to 200,000 subscribers, and thank you very much in advance. So after the lights are automatically detected, you can quickly add the lights by selecting them, choosing where you want to set them up, entering your Wi-Fi password and giving the light a name. Next, you get to choose the power on status. So if you want to choose the Wiz Click option of manually clicking light mode 1 and light mode 2, or you can select the last status, which is what I have done for all of the lightings here. Then there'll be an option for fade in and fade out when you turn on and turn off the lights, which I've left it at 0.50 seconds for both to give that nice fade in and fade out effect when switching the lights on or off. Then after adding the lights, you can adjust the brightness over there too. But if you look down below, there are 3 tabs over there for static scene options. And if you go to the dynamic tab, here's where you'll find more of a movement like scenes like fireplace or Christmas, and the response was instantaneous. Then there's also the color tab where you can choose the exact color that you want for the light to be, where the color accuracy is also on point. Then if you go towards the library tab at the bottom next to the home, here's where you'll find more awesome features like music sync, where the lights in the room will sync accordingly to the music being played in the room. Now, since I do have the HomePod Mini in the room for my voice control, more on that later, I can play music through that and get all of the lights to sync in the room accordingly. Now, how this is technically done is by using your phone's microphone, which was totally awesome, as you can clearly see. So yeah, it's like having your own mini concert at home, just minus the overpriced tickets and stupid long queues to go in to really enjoy your music and the lighting effects. But another very handy mode is the monitoring routine, where there's a present simulations over there, which is called the vacation mode, which is perfect if you're using Wiz lights in your home, because this simulates that someone is at home when you're out on a vacation. Cool, right? Now, 2 things to note. Firstly, keep in mind that you only have the option to connect these devices to a 2.5 GHz Wi-Fi, since the range is further than a typical 5 GHz, while it's faster, but the range is not there. And speaking of which, my router is all the way downstairs towards the other corner, and yet the devices in this room works flawlessly. Secondly, if you're setting up more than one device at the same time, my advice is to turn on each device and set them up one by one, because the initial setup is based on Bluetooth first, so you don't want a huge traffic into that. It's like a noisy traffic jam. Now, speaking of noise or sound, let's talk about the voice control next. Now, if you want to control these devices through your voice, you can, since Wiz works seamlessly with Google Assistant and Amazon Alexa. And since all of the lights here have Matter support and Siri shortcuts too, you can ask Siri to perform commands too. So all of this can be configured in the Settings tab, and heading towards the Integrations menu. Here's where you can choose the integration of your choice, but I've chosen Matter and Google Assistant since I don't have Amazon Alexa here in the studio, and while it works with every light from Wiz, here's a voice assistant test specifically for this flex strip lights. Hey Google, turn off flex strip lights.
Flex strip lights off.
Hey Siri, turn on flex strip lights.
Okay.
So, as mentioned earlier, one of the coolest features from Wiz is something they call Space Sense, which has a built-in motion sensor within the light itself. Now, for this particular setup, Space Sense is available for all of the devices, and as the name suggests, it detects motion in the room and automatically turn on and off the lights when you enter or leave. So yeah, this is very practical and saves energy, which is a big plus. Now, this could be configured within the Wiz app as well under the automation tab at the bottom. Firstly, you need to select a beacon, and for this case, I'll use the desk lamp since it's the nearest to the door. Next, I'll need to select the processors, which is something towards the corner of the room, so I'll choose the ZenWiz bed LED strip since it needs about 2 meter spacing. Then after it's calibrated, you'll be able to adjust the sensing settings over there. And what happens if there's motion detected, and for my case is where I turn on the lights when there's motion and turn off when there's no motion for about 30 minutes. And I can also adjust the sensitivity over there as well. So yeah, this is perfect for those who want an eco-friendly lighting solution without remembering to switch on and switch off the lights all the time. Alright, if some of the settings sounds a bit more technical, don't worry, because we've got a full written version of this review at our website at www.adamlovo.tv, where you can find all the details down below, and while you are there, check out our daily tech news over there too. Now, side note, under the automation tab, there's also the circadian rhythm that will adjust the whole lights to follow the circadian rhythm of your place, which was super lovely too, because if you have a room with no windows and want to get this light to specifically light up the whole entire room, this would be the best option too. Alright, so that's how I transform a boring empty space into the ultimate Zenwiz room. Now, if you have any questions, do let me know in the comment section below, and don't worry, because I've not forgotten the giveaway, because I'll be giving out 3 Wiz tunable white plus color E27 bulbs. And to enter, firstly you need to be here in Malaysia, and then simply like this video and subscribe to Adam Lovo TV, and comment below on how you would use this Wiz lighting in your space, where I leave all the information down below, and good luck.